Today we'll study periodic classification of elements. Myself, Amit Kumar Singh, TGT Science of Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. First of all, we see what is classification of elements. Simply classification means grouping. So let us see the arranging of elements into different groups on the basis of similarity in their properties is called classification of elements. Now we need to understand why there is a need for classification of elements. So the classification of elements into groups makes the study of element easier. That's why we need to classify the elements. And nowadays there are more than 100 elements are known so far. So proper classification system is highly necessary. Now we'll see the early attempts at the classification of the elements. The earliest attempt to classify element was grouping the known elements into two groups only, metals and non-metals. But this type of classification had some defect because there was no place for metalloids. Metalloids means the elements having properties of both metals and non-metals. So many scientists started classifying the elements. So in this, the first scientist was Daubignies, and he gave Daubignies triads. In 1829, John Daubignies classified the element on the basis of increasing order of their atomic mass into group of three elements called triads. And according to him, when three elements in a triad were arranged in the order of increasing atomic mass, the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately equal to the average atomic mass of other two elements. So let us see one example. Take lithium, sodium and potassium having atomic mass 6.9, 23 and 39 respectively. Now let us see the average atomic mass of first element, that is lithium, and third element, that is potassium. It must come around 23. Atomic mass of sodium, let us see. It is 22.95, approximately equals to 23. Now similarly he made two more triads and satisfying his condition, but there were some limitation in his classification. So let us see what are the limitations of Daubignies classification or Daubignies triads. The first defect or limitation was Daubignies could identify only three triads, that is for total of 9 elements only. However, the total number of elements were more than that of at that time. He was not able to prepare triad of all the known elements. So these are some limitations, or you can say defects of Daubignies classification. Then next scientist came Newland. John Newland also arranged the element in the increasing order of their atomic mass, but now he arranged elements in a group of 8 and called octaves. And according to him, when the elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic masses into octaves, that is group of 8 elements, the property of the 8th element are a kind of repetition of first, just like the notes of music. You can see, like we have notes in music, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, and after ni again sa comes. Similarly here he grouped the element on similarity of their properties, but this classification was also having some defects or drawbacks. Let us see one by one. Limitations of Newland's octave. First one is, the law was applicable to element up to calcium only. Second, all the known elements and element discovered later could not be correctly arranged into octaves. Some elements having different property were arranged in the same row, like cobalt and nickel having different property are placed along with fluorine, chlorine and bromine. Similarly, iron having properties similar to cobalt and nickel, but are placed in a separate row. So these are some drawbacks, and his classification also discarded. So in this process, new scientist came, Mendeleev, and he gave Mendeleev's periodic law. What is that? Let us see. According to modern periodic law, the properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic masses. This was given by Mendeleev. Now we will see the characteristics of Mendeleev's periodic table. First one, Mendeleev arranged all 63 known elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses with similarity in their properties. Second, Mendeleev's periodic table consists of 8 vertical rows called group and 6 horizontal rows called periods. The group 1 to 7 had 2 subgroups, subgroup A and subgroup B, but group 8 had 3 rows of elements. Next one, there are some spaces left vacant in the table to accommodate the element to be discovered in future. So these are some characteristics of Mendeleev's periodic table. Now we'll see merits. What are the advantages of Mendeleev's periodic table? Elements were classified on a more fundamental basis of their atomic masses and properties. The element with similar physical and chemical property are kept under the same group. Spaces left vacant to accommodate the element to be discovered in future. Next, it could predict the properties of the element which helped in the discovery of new elements. And last one, the inert gas elements discovered later could be placed in the separate group without disturbing the whole table. So these are some merits or advantages. Now we'll see the limitations. Mendeleev's periodic table also had some drawbacks. Let us see one by one. First one, he could not assign a correct position to hydrogen in his periodic table. Atomic masses did not increase in the regular manner in going from one element to next. Some elements are not arranged in the increasing order of their atomic masses. For example, cobalt is placed before nickel. Next, the position of isotopes, all the known elements were not clear in his periodic table. So these are some drawbacks of Mendeleev's periodic table, and hence the need arose for some systematic classification of elements. So in this, on the way of classifying the elements, next scientist came, Henry Moseley. In 1913, he gave modern periodic law. What modern periodic law states? The properties of the elements are the periodic function of their atomic number. Now, first time he introduced or classified the elements on the basis of atomic numbers. This is modern periodic table. Nowadays we are using this table. Again, the same one. Now we will see characteristics of modern periodic table. In the modern periodic table, elements are arranged in the increasing order of their atomic number in the form of a table having 18 vertical columns of elements called group and 7 horizontal rows of elements called periods. Now we'll see first about periods. So there are 7 periods in the modern periodic table. So first period has 2 elements and called shortest period. Second period has 8 elements called short period. Third period also has 8 elements and also called short period. Fourth period has 18 elements and called long period. Fifth period has 18 elements again and is again called long period. Sixth period has 32 elements and it is called longest period. And seventh period has 28 elements and it is called incomplete period. 14 elements of each 6th and 7th period are placed separately at the bottom of the table. The 14 elements of 6th period are known as lanthanides, and 14 elements of the 7th period which are placed separately below the table are known as actinides. Now we'll see about groups. Some are known as representative elements, some are known as transition elements, lanthanides and actinides are known as inner transition elements. Group 1 elements are known as alkali metals. Group 2 are known as alkaline metals. Similarly, group 17th elements are known as halogens. Group 18s are known as noble gases. So these are some properties of elements in a group. Now we'll see the trend of elements in modern periodic table. So first property or trend we'll see is valence electron. So first of all, we need to understand what is valence electrons. So the number of electrons present in the outermost shell of an atom is known as valence electron. In a period, the number of valence electron increases from 1 to 8 when we move from left to right. Let us see one example of second period. Here are the elements: atomic number, electronic configuration, and valence electron. You can see it is increasing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But in a group, the number of valence electron is same for all the elements, but the number of shell increases from top to bottom. Let us see. Example of group 1. Here are the elements. You can see the valence electron remains the same. Now we'll see the second property, which is related to valence electron, that is valency. So what is valency? The combining capacity of an element is known as valency. A typical definition of valency. So in a period, the valency of elements increases from 1 to 4 and then decreases from 4 to 0 while we move from left to right. Example, again we'll take example of second period. Elements, atomic number, electronic configuration, valence electron, and now the valency. You can see first the valency increased from 1, 2, 3, 4 and then it is decreased 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. But in a group, the valency is the same for all the elements. Since valence electron remains same, so valency also remains same. So you can see the example. Valence electron 1 for group 1 and valency also is 1 for group 1 elements. Now next property is atomic size. What is atomic size? So the distance between center of the nucleus and the outermost shell of an atom. This is atomic radius, and on the atomic radius only the atomic size depends. So in a period, the atomic size of the elements decreases from left to right because the nuclear charge, that is the number of protons in the nucleus, increases, and so the electrons are pulled closer to the nucleus. Hence the atomic size decreases. So let us see the example of again second period. Elements, atomic number, electronic configuration, then number of protons. You can see the number of protons are increasing. Hence the size is decreasing. But in a group, the atomic size of element increases from top to bottom because the number of shells increases and the effective nuclear charge decreases. Example, you can see electronic configuration. You can see the shell is increasing while we move from top to bottom. So the nuclear charge or effective nuclear charge decreases. Hence the size, atomic size increases. You can see here from top to bottom the size is increasing, and while moving from left to right the size is decreasing. Now the next property is metallic property or electropositive nature of elements. What is it? The tendency of an atom to lose electrons. So in a period, the metallic property of element decreases from left to right. Let us see example of third period. Here are the elements. So initially the elements sodium, magnesium, aluminium. All these are metals. Then after that it is metalloid, and then we have non-metals. So what trend we are observing here? That metallic property is decreasing. But in a group, the metallic property of elements increases from top to bottom. Let us see example. Here are the elements. First one, carbon, non-metal. Yes. Then we have metalloids, and then we have metals. So what we are seeing here, metallic property is increasing. Yes, it is increasing from while we move from top to bottom in a group. So metals are electropositive in nature. Now the next property is non-metallic property. The tendency of an atom to gain electrons. So in a period, the non-metallic property of element increases from left to right. Let us see one example. First we have metals, then we have metalloids, yes, then we have non-metals. So what we are observing here, the non-metallic property is increasing or decreasing? It is increasing. So non-metallic property increases when we move from left to right in a period. But in a group, the non-metallic property of element decreases when we move from top to bottom. Let us see example. We have initially first carbon is a non-metal, then metalloids, silicon, germanium, and then again we have metals. So what we are observing here, you can see what you can see here, the non-metallic property is decreasing. Yes, non-metallic property decreases when we move from top to bottom. So non-metals are electronegative in nature. Now the last property or trend, that is nature of oxides. Oxides of metals are basic in nature. We know that. Let us see one example. Sodium, when react with oxygen, water, it gives sodium hydroxide, which is base. And the oxides of non-metals are acidic in nature. Here the example. Sulfur, non-metal, react with oxygen and water, it gives sulfuric acid, which is acid. So in a period, the basic character of oxides decreases and the acidic characters increases. In a group, the nature of oxides remain same. Thank you. Hope you have understood this chapter. Go through it again and again and try to clear your concepts. Thank you. Have a nice day.